Hey, Baruch B here from Soul Centered. Welcome. I want to talk to you today about what I call bearing the burden of your suffering. My teacher, Dr. Viktor Frankl, actually calls it this, and I've really integrated it into my life. To what does it mean to bear the burden of a suffering and not have to discharge it, not have to make it go away? We live in a society that does not like tension, that does not like struggle, that does not like suffering. We like resolution. We like quick fixes. We want to make things better or get them out of here so we can get on to the next thing. And sometimes that works. More often than not, it doesn't, and it never leads to a powerful life. I'm interested in power, and I'm not talking about the kind we find in professions or bank accounts or conquests of all types. I'm talking about authentic power, the type that Dr. Frankl challenges us to live in our lives, which is the power to stop reacting to our circumstances and to start responding to our life. His famous quote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space, and in that space lies our freedom and our power to choose our response." When things happen to us, do we react or do we respond? To be able to stop reacting and start responding is the ultimate power that we will ever know in our lifetime. The challenge is when we come up against struggle, and it could be struggle in a profession, in a marriage, in a relationship, whatever it might be, is we want to react, or we need to react. And so there are two primal ways I see reacting. It's very simple. I see in relationships especially. Either I'm going to get my needs met by shouting it out, and we'll talk about that, or by shoving it down. Shouting it out might be literal, might be you just scream a lot, right? I'm an Enneagram 8 in the Enneagram world, and we're intense. We're shouters. We're big energy, and we just make our needs known to the world. And that's one way of dealing with it. But in the Enneagram world anyways, that's not the only way to shout. Sometimes the most quiet people are the loudest shouters, even if they never utter a word, like Enneagram 9s. They're passive aggressive about their shouting. They get their needs met by digging in their heels, nodding yes, meaning no. 2s, Enneagram 2s, the helper, they'll shout by making your life miserable until they get what they want, manipulating, right, behind the scenes. And it's another way to shout. So it doesn't have to be literal. It's about saying, I have a need and it's unmet, and I'm going to go head to head in some way, shape, or form to make that need a reality, make it known. That's one extreme. Another extreme of reaction is the shove it down. Are you a shove it downer or a shout it outer? Shove it downers can also be those Enneagram types, but oftentimes they're some of the more quiet types, like the Enneagram 5. 4s can do a lot of shoving down. It doesn't matter this is not an Enneagram conversation, I think, in terms of the Enneagram. But shover downers are people who they still have the need. We still have our primal needs and our wants and our desires, but they just keep pushing them down. Sometimes they'll do it with food, with drugs, with shopping. Sometimes they'll do it with complacency. However you shove it down, you just stop paying attention to it. Here's the challenge, is it doesn't go away, it goes underground and it gets buried, but it's still down there and it seeps out slowly and it eats away at us, and we become resentful when we're in a job that is no longer ours and we don't want it, but we haven't shouted it out, we haven't proactively gotten out of it, and so we shove our wants and our needs down. I counsel so many people, Enneagram 2s for the Enneagram people out there especially, but all types, who if you shove it down for long enough, like since the 1950s or 60s or 70s, you shove it down for long enough, you stop remembering what it is you were shoving down. You stop remembering your needs. You stop even remembering that you're supposed to have needs, and it's okay to have needs. I just counseled a person very recently who, when I said to them, you can get your needs met, it was like this light bulb. Like nobody had given her permission to get her needs met since like the Nixon administration or something. And it was just this aha moment. And we've been working on, not only do you have needs, which we got to get to, you have a right to the needs. But she's been shoving it down. So shoving it down or shouting it out, they're both reactions. Again, whether you're talking about your profession, your personal life, anything and everything in between, there's a third way. And that is a middle way. And that is not to shout it out. For you eights out there like me, hold it. Hold the tension of having a need gone on unmet, having a frustration, having a suffering, and just holding it without having to fix it, without having to control it, without having to do something. Sylvia Borston, excuse me, Sylvia Borston, teacher of mine, don't just do something. Sit there. I'm joking here. I'm not going to shout it out. So don't just do something, eights. Sit there, or shouter outers. Hold the suffering, hold the burden. And for the shover inners, don't make it go away. Right? Don't try and discharge it, to resolve it, or to bury it. Can you hold your need, still be in relationship, still be in the job, not have to get the divorce, not have to quit the job? You may or may not, but not because of this. In this situation, can you hold the conflict or the suffering and still have your needs without making the needs go away? Right? It doesn't have to be either or. Dr. Frankl says when a person finds that it's their destiny to suffer, their unique opportunity lies in the way that he or she bears their burden. Can you bear the burden? Can you live without resolution, at least for a little while? Can you hold your needs without putting them onto others or making them go away? This is growth. I love the word patience. Comes from the word suffering, patis, suffering in Hebrew, savlanut, patience. It means literally to bear the burden. That is a mark of evolution, of growth. When we can bear the burden, hold the suffering, not have to put it on somebody, not have to react and go after somebody or something outside of us, and not have to make the suffering, make the need, unmet need, make the unmet desire go away. Yes, you should and you can and you will get some of those needs met. But since the time we were toddlers, we have to learn, can't get them all met. So it's about becoming discerning about what are our values, what are our priorities, becoming responsive, not reactive, and getting those needs met, holding the ones we can't, and fulfilling the ones we can proactively as we take back our authentic power in our lives. So don't shout it out and don't shove it down. Just begin to learn how to bear your burden, and you will find your way to a life of meaning and purpose and resilience. Until the next time, I'm Baruch Halevi. Get a hold of us at mysoulcenter.org. Shalom, salam, namaste. Peace.